What's up, everyone? Champions back again for another UFC predictions video. This time for UFC Mexico City, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg, Astro Boy. Very excited for this card. It's probably gonna be a lot better than this past London card, which is not that great. It feels like a lot of these London cards have just been disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, but besides the point, very excited for this Mexico card. I expect to be a lot of fun. Have to be aware of elevation this week because that's a big factor in a lot of these fights. And honestly, I'm not crazy about it betting wise, like going in like pre. I think I can make some good reads and stuff like that. There's some specific fights I like, but there's some I would be sure about otherwise. Well, I'm really not because of the elevation. So yeah, but let's get into it. As always, we go over what happens last time. Last time was UFC London, Edwards versus Brady, and let's go over it. I didn't do so good, especially betting wise. Picks wise didn't go so great either. But we'll go through each one. So the first fight on the card I had a bet on was Guram. I had Guram Kutateladze at minus 400 as like a parlay piece because I honestly thought there's no way this guy's losing. Because not only do I think Guram's like okay, but it was more so a fade on Kyle Fernandez, who I'm just not big on, and I'm still not big on. I think Guram might be like done. I'm being honest. I really wasn't expecting him to get dropped like that multiple times. He looked so bad. Guram Kutateladze looked awful, genuinely. And I don't know what happened to him. Maybe training with the Topuria brothers didn't do some good. Maybe he should stay All-Stars. I don't know. Yeah, no. Those are poor bets. I didn't put too much on it. And like honestly, like I put points to make like, or not to make, but like put one unit or something like that. Like in total. Because I was thinking like Guram pretty much has this in the bag. But no. Absolutely didn't. So that was just a really poor bet on my part. And I mean, I really didn't give Calvin Fernandez much of a shot. And honestly, I still kind of don't. I like going forward. I don't think he's that great. He looked great because he got the fight he wanted with how Guram was fighting. The takedown attempts for Guram were horrid. They were bad. So I don't take too much from it, like from Cal Fernandez's perspective. And I'm probably gonna be looking to fade Cal in the future. And I'm hoping that people look at him beating Guram is going to make him inflate in the future. Because I'll happily fade him. So yeah, that one is it. That was a horrible bet. I made some really bad bets, I feel like. Although some I will defend, like, even though they lost. Let's see. What was the next one? I mean, I guess I had this, but this wasn't a parlay with Guram. Callan Loughran. I put him in the parlay. I didn't want to rely on him money line wise. Not even sure if we necessarily won that fight. It was really close. I think I did give it to Loughran for rounds 1 and 3, but it's like round 3. I wouldn't have been shocked if the judges gave it to Nate like Fletcher because he like ended the round so well. I was like, what are you doing, Callan? What are you doing? It was a frustrating watch, but he did enough to get takedowns and he did pitter patter shots. Like it was nothing crazy damage wise. But it was enough because that was most of the rounds for like rounds 1 and 3. And like Fletcher's stand up was not the best. Looked pretty all right against Loughran, who just does. It's like Vittori, just gets hit, and he'll take it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not even like that mad. I didn't even like put a straight bet on him and put him on like a parlay. Even if that would have won, if Guram won, I'm okay. I'm okay about that. Like, I don't think it's the end of the world. So, the next fight on the card was, Puja Tomar versus Shauna Bannon. I put a small bet on Puja. I think this is a fine bet, especially with how she was looking. Not that she was looking good in round 1. I thought she lost round 1, even though judges had her up in round 1. And that was a part of the reason why I would bet Puja, because it's going to be close margins. Bannon doesn't necessarily do a great job at separating. And like just the noises Puja makes is just going to make it so that maybe judges, you never know with them. And that's exactly what happened. She won rounds 1 somehow. And she also got the head kick, which put Shauna Bannon down. Shauna Bannon's not great. And then Puja went into her guard and got finished because horrible jiu-jitsu. So, I mean, it is what it is. I wasn't heavily invested in that one. I'm happy I wasn't. But I do think Puja was like the right side, even though she didn't even necessarily look great. But she did enough in like the judge, enough to get judges to consider her winning because of like the optics and stuff like that, which is again surprising because she was like on her back foot so much. So I mean, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm not even that mad for like losing that one because I think that was like an all right bet to make. I think the next one, yeah, it was CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan. I had a few bets. I had him with parlay with Guram. That sucks, but it's okay. I had him to win by submission, but I was like a very small bet. Would have been nice if he hit that. And I also had Duncan to, where was it? Is it here? It should be. Oh wait, I know why. It's in like some kind of like parlay or something like that. It's with a future card, which we'll get into like later on when that card comes around. But I had a minus 3.5 Duncan Ben. I had like a few like bets with stuff like that, like with him. Yeah, minus 3.5. That was a great call. Duncan did everything. Not everything. That's maybe not kind of the opposite of what he did. He did. No, I need to think before I speak. Pulayev had nothing for Duncan. I said going into this fight, I thought this was a levels fight. I just like this is gonna be just Duncan doing whatever he wants. Pulayev is really tough, which is why I went with the submission angle because I thought he could get him down. He wasn't able to get him down, so like it's because he wasn't able to get him down. Pulayev is like the submission was kind of dead, but it is what it is. Yeah, CLD. I thought CLD looked good. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, he didn't try going for a finish or whatever till last season." I don't care. He's fighting smart. He's fighting smart. At the end of the day, that's all I really want from a fighter. I think CLD's really good, and I actually really liked what I saw in this fight. So, other people hated it. I was cool with it. The next one I had a bet on was probably Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin. I think the scorecards people have online on this fight were pretty crazy. I thought Tybura won this fight pretty clearly. Rounds 1 and 3. Round 2, I mean, almost got finished. That was scary as hell. The line got so like wide enough, like going up to the fights that I was like, I have to bet Tybura. This is getting ridiculous now. And yeah. Rounds 1, I don't know why people really gave that to Parkin. Like, most of the work Parkin did that round was getting like blocked. Like there was nothing really that clean. Sure, he landed more significant strikes, but significant strikes are not necessarily like a number. It's not number based. It's like how effective they are. Tybura had the more effective strikes that round. The body kick was making big noises. The judges love that. It was really a vet performance for Marcin Tybura. Be able to weather the storm round 2, and when I saw him going for like some wrestling in round 2, like at the end, like at the end of the round, I was like, okay, I'm gonna live bet Tybura a little bit, and I did, and it worked out well. And then round 3, Parkin's corner tells him he's tired, go get him. He didn't really do much in round 3. It was just Tybura really landing much with nothing great. He looked really tired, but he just did more. It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe what I was watching, but Tybura did what he had to do to win. So props to Tybura. I thought Tybura pretty clearly won that fight. So, yeah, it was a good bet on my part. Loner Kavanaugh versus Felipe Dos Santos. I was shocked with how much the odds were coming down on this, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go and make a play on Loner Kavanaugh, and I did. I'm happy I did because it was one of the better bets at the night. Well, maybe not better because it was a little scary when it looked like he got hurt in round 1 against Felipe. But props to Kavanaugh, able to get his senses back, and he had to change his approach, and when he did, getting takedowns, great ground and pound. I thought the ground and pound was fantastic. Some of the best I've seen at flyweight, to be honest with you. Like off the top of my head, I'm probably forgetting, but that was a great performance for Loner Kavanaugh after not having necessarily the best round 1, being able to implement the wrestling and getting good ground and pound and make the rounds clear for you in rounds 2 and 3, man. I like this guy, Loner Kavanaugh. I think he's really good. I'm happy to say I was able to bet on him at that price. So, yeah, shout out to Loner. Next fight I had a bet on, Morgan Charrier versus Nathaniel Wood. I had a bet earlier in the week was like, okay, I like Morgan. I think he's going to win this fight. And then the odds kept coming down. It's like, I do like Morgan a lot here. And it's like, so I put a little bit more. I also had Morgan to like win inside the distance, and if it goes scorecards no action. I wish I just bet that instead. I was shocked. I was legitimately shocked Nathaniel Wood was able to hurt Morgan Charrier. And honestly, I think Morgan Charrier, after getting hurt like that, he was just on autopilot. I think he was on autopilot, was just survive or whatever. Just try your best, but like I can't. He's not there. So I think that really hurt Morgan in that fight. And yeah, it just didn't feel like he was doing all the things he had to do to win. So yeah, that one sucked to lose, but Morgan, it is what it is. I still think he's really good, but Nathaniel Wood really impressed me. This is what he should have done to Nathaniel Pineda, but oh well, it's okay. Great win by Nathaniel Wood. I have to give a lot of credit to that, because that was the best he's ever looked at featherweight, and I thought he's been looking like pretty bad there. So filling out pretty well. Next bet I had Kevin Holland over Gunnar Nelson. Yeah, I wish I bet more on this, but hindsight 2020. I didn't want to be that mad at myself if Kevin Holland lost. So yeah, Kevin Holland looked like Kevin Holland of the past. He was able to have like pretty alright jiu-jitsu, and I think his jiu-jitsu is pretty alright, especially when he's fighting guys not gigantic against him. And yeah, it's always possible to hurt him and like hurt a dude, especially at like 170 now. He's nice. Kevin Holland can be pretty nice, and he's due for a win, and he got a win against an older guy who just hasn't been fighting that much. And honestly, Gunnar kind of impressed me, the durability, the toughness he had. And I'm very happy I played the money line instead of like KO or something like that, because yeah, I knew it was a possibility with Kevin Holland. This could go the distance. Like it wouldn't even shock me. And yeah, it did. And there was shout out to Kevin Holland surviving that arm triangle in round 3 against Gunnar. I was like, oh my god, this is dangerous, and this would be really bad if you lost. Kevin Holland survived it, won the fight. So yeah, shout out to him. And the next fight I had Leon Edwards to win. Man, I gotta give props to Sean Brady. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was surprised seeing like round 1 being so unanimously given to Sean Brady. I thought Leon won that round, even with like the takedown. I know Sean Brady had a really good combo, and like it looked like it stunned Leon for a bit, but Leon was getting some really good work that round. He looked super clean. I love the clinches he had. Looked like he was trying to hit an elbow off the clinch, but I think Brady did a good job of getting away from those. But overall, I thought Leon won that round. But from then on, it was all Sean Brady. It was all Sean Brady. I thought Leon Edwards would be able to, at the very least, stop the takedowns, and because of he's able to stop the takedowns, Brady get tired as the fight went on and stuff like that. But Brady's takedowns were good enough to get Leon down, and Brady has great enough top pressure to just be able to ride on Leon. Don't give him avenues to get up. I mean, it was a thing of beauty in terms of grappling. Like he's so good at grappling on the ground. But yeah, I want to make some points about Leon that I totally disagree with. First off, I was happy at the very least to because I was very worried going into the fight about staff for Leon. I don't think that was like a worry, and I feel pretty good knowing that at the very least Leon doesn't have staff, and I wouldn't be going all so crazy about this, oh, he lost because of staff. I don't think that was the case. So again, shout out to Brady. I think that adds to him. Because I thought Leon was looking really good, and I don't think he's getting tired really necessarily. People are talking about Leon Edwards has no heart. If he has no heart, he's out of there in round 2 or 3. What are we doing here? Sean Brady just absolutely outpositioned Leon in round 4. It's not easy to get up against Sean Brady by any means. He's getting better. So what are we doing here? I don't know how you can question the guy's heart off of that performance. Off of that one, no. I don't. He would have been out of there earlier if that was the case. First person to finish, Leon Edwards. So shout out to Sean Brady again. That was impressive as hell. What else? And also shout out to Leon Edwards defensively, being able to stay in some of those positions on the ground. Pretty impressive. That heart thing really irked me, because he's not there in those later rounds off of what Sean Brady's doing. If he didn't have heart, he was definitely trying to win. So Make no mistake of that. And to me, like, saying that about Leon Edwards is taken away from Sean Brady, the performance he had. Like, it's super impressive to be able to do that against Leon Edwards, because Leon Edwards is really good. He is really good, and I think people are going to be forgetting that. And I hope people forget that continuing on, because better odds than Leon. I'm cool with that. And yeah, I don't think Leon's necessarily like washed or anything like that. He's still really good. He's still really good, and I want to capitalize on in the future. So, hoping for that. Yeah. Not the best card, to be honest. I'm usually like really positive with like UFC cards and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I think like maybe some people say it's awful, but this card really wasn't the best. Let me pull up the rest of the fights to go over them really quickly. Talked about. Here we go. Jai Herbert, Chris Padilla. Honestly, I thought Jai Herbert won 3-0, like 30-27. Honestly, I just thought he just did more in the rounds. Maybe not round one was like, it's hard to tell. I just like slightly gave the Jai, but I can't blame anyone giving Padilla. I thought round two went to Jai because of the head kick. Like, he hit a Padilla with a really good head kick, and I thought he did a little more. And it's not like Padilla did anything crazy. And round three, I thought it was pretty clearly Jai Herbert just put on more action in that round and won. I was very pissed because I did have a bet on Jai Herbert more significant strikes, and he lost by 1. And if they tied, I would have got my money back. So I'm not happy about that one. But I thought Jai won, but I was like, am I like that mad? No. I said I would be willing to bet Jai Herbert at plus money if came to me, never came. So I never ended up betting him. I wasn't that confident Jai, and shout out to his chin. I thought his chin maybe could get checked here. And didn't get checked. So yeah. Oh my god, I forgot to include these bets. I had a bet on Chris Duncan, Vucenic under 2.5. I forgot to put them in. And what was it? Did I have another? This one too. Yeah. I'll talk about that one in a second. But I had under 2.5 at this fight. I forgot to include it. It wasn't a big play. It was like 0.3 like units. So it's not even like that big of not the end of the world. Didn't happen. I went with Vucenic to win this fight, but I was like, look, Chris Duncan at ATT, I like that move a lot. I'm not going to be trying to doubt him like that going forward. I don't think Vucenic is not necessarily like, how do you say it? Like, he's necessarily like so much better than Chris Duncan that I was like, I'm going to rule it out. I like the under 2.5 more than I did Vucenic finish, which I heard a lot of people say, like, if you want to bet the under, why not just bet Vucenic? Because he's the one that's going to finish. Shout out to Chris Duncan. He did a great job finishing the fight. He looked great. He dropped Vucenic round 1. Wrestling was on point. ATT, shout out to them. Looking great. Chris Duncan, man, great. Like, I'm surprised he didn't get a bonus. I think he was robbed of a bonus. So shout out to Chris Duncan again. I like that a lot. I'm very happy I stayed off of like Vucenic finish. I'm very, very happy about that. Alexa Tainara versus Molly McCann. I went with going with Molly, and the reason why I went Molly is because of fight IQ. I went with Molly to win because I thought Tainara might fight dumb. And I only said this like if you see Tainara take down Molly, and if she lets Molly back up and like throws a hammer fist, that's when you live bet Molly. That didn't end up happening, so I didn't end up live betting Molly. Happily, I'm very, very happy about that. Tainara fought smart. I have to give a shout out to her. She fought smart. She took down Molly, stayed on top, found the position to get a sub. Easy work. So I didn't think she'd be doing that. I thought she'd give Molly the fight she wanted. So I didn't put any money on it, and I said if you saw Tainara do that and let Molly back up, then it's gonna be like problematic. Wasn't problematic. She did a great job, especially on short notes. So shout out to Tainara. Great performance. And shout out to Molly for retiring, I guess. Bye-bye. Carlos Ulberg versus Jan Blachowicz. This fight went about exactly how I thought it would, if I'm being honest. And I said I would bet if I had to go the distance. I forgot to put that in again. Again, it was like the Vucenic Duncan one. It was like it would have been 0.3 units. I didn't have much invested in that. But yeah, I thought this fight goes long at a high clip because Jan Blachowicz really good at fighting those orthodox kickboxers, and again, orthodox as in more traditional style, not stance, orthodox stance. Ulberg, I thought Jan won the fight, if I'm being honest. I thought Jan won, and I'm weird. I think I'm not weird, but like I scored differently than most people. What was it? I gave Jan round 1, I gave Jan round 2, and I gave Olberg round 3. So I know most people gave like Olberg round 2 maybe, and like Jan round 3. I don't agree with that, because in round 2, I thought Jan did a great job checking the kicks. He checked a lot of what Olberg was throwing. It was like most of what Olberg was throwing was not really effective, because I felt like the checks were in play and not doing damage. It's damaging Olberg, if anyone. And I thought Olberg did enough, like round 3, like point wise. He's outpointing Jan. Did a good job with that. Not the worst robbery in the world. I'm not gonna act like that. I'm just saying. I said something like this, where it's like, watch Olberg go to like a super close decision with Jan and like arguably maybe not even win, and then now go fight for the belt and fight either Pereira or Ankalaev and just win by KO, because that's the most MMA thing ever. That's the most MMA thing ever to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm right about that. So I hope that happens, because I'll record the clip I had like on the last card and upload it like I said it. Most MMA thing ever for that to happen. So yeah, shout out to Olberg. Shout out to Jan. He's arguably kind of been screwed in the last few fights, because he could have got a decision against Ankalaev, could have got a decision against Pereira, and now could have got a decision against Olberg. It's just rough for the guy. So yeah, I love me some Blachowicz. So that sucks to see. Yeah, I didn't do great picking wise on the card, which is, yeah, I'm not done the best in picking this year in general, to be honest. But hopefully we'll balance the ship as we keep going forward. So let's get on this card. I am super excited for this card. There's a lot of good fights on this one. And let's get on to this first one. Austin Hubbard versus Markel Medeiros. I'm going Medeiros. I think he'll win in decision. I'm not super interested at this current line. Let me actually pull it up. Forgot to pull it up. The line on the fight. Go Bovada. Let's see here. Minus 163, and maybe if it comes down a little more, I'll be more interested. The problem is with like Hubbard does a good job of making things close. And like that's the big worry. And I'm not necessarily like the biggest guy in Medeiros. I don't even remember if I picked him to win against Quinones. I might have picked Quinones, to be honest with you. And that was a close fight. That was actually like a really close fight, if I remember correctly. I didn't really do too much shape for this one. I think he's the younger guy. Like I do like that. I've not been crazy about how Austin Hubbard's been looking. I didn't even think he won this Figlak fight. I was on Figlak there. Maybe I'm a little biased, but still, I think that was good. I don't know how this is a split decision against Hernandez. I think Medeiros is gonna be better on the feet and end up winning like that. Like he's gonna outstrike Hubbard. Maybe Hubbard will have some success with the takedowns, but maybe and I think Medeiros will be able to get up and do his work. I like that he's at Medeiros is at, I think he's at, what was it, the lab, MMA lab in Arizona. I like that gym a lot, and I think he's gonna improve a lot if he's up there. So I like that move for Medeiros, and I think that's ultimately really good for him. Next fight up the card, Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Give me Emmers. I'll go by KO round 1, to be honest. Let me look at the odds of this fight. Have the odds gotten better on this one? -4, no. Yeah, it's the same story with all Jamal Emmers fights. Emmers has all the skills in the world. He's not trustworthy. He's not trustworthy at all, and I think it's the same here, especially at high altitude. High altitude, maybe Jamal Emmers is the kind of guy to gas. Maybe Jamal Emmers is the kind of guy to shoot on Gabriel Miranda. I wouldn't be shocked if he shoots on him, if I'm being honest. I thought Jamal Emmers looked pretty bad against what's his name, Nate Landwehr last time. Got KO'd. I was actually like really surprised by that. I don't remember. I think I might have picked Landwehr there in that fight, but besides the point, I think Jamal Emmers looked good there. But I just think he's kind of a stylistic nightmare for Miranda, because I don't think Miranda's gonna have much success getting the takedowns and finding sub positions on Emmers, and because of that, I just think Emmers should be able to do work. I think on the feet's a big gap, and I think Emmers can find the finish there. So, yeah, give me Jamal Emmers. I like the under, but I bet you is a nasty under 1.5. That's something. That's actually something that I'm actually like not opposed to like putting a small play on. Under 1.5 on this fight, plus 115. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Anyways, moving on. Rafa Garcia. Oh my God. Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pichel. Garcia decision. I just think Pichel is kind of done. To me, this fight's about him going through his contract. I think Rafa Garcia probably just does enough and wins and doesn't do anything crazy to win. I'm not super interested in this fight. I'm not crazy about Rafa Garcia, but really he should win. He should win. I'd be pretty surprised if he doesn't. Yeah, it feels like a setup spot for the UFC. It's like, okay, get him. You can take him down. Do some work on the ground. Be fine. Maybe have some fun fight with a fun moment with Vince Pichel, who's always a gamer. He's fun. And he's just durable. Fight probably goes long, but I bet on over 2.5 minus 325. It's just nasty. It's not worth looking at. Maybe Rafa Garcia decision minus 150. Don't do it. This is just a complete pass for me. I'm not interested at all in this fight. Next fight up the card. Julia Palacio versus Lupita Godinez. Okay, actually I have a lot to say about this one. I love me some women's MMA, as you may know. This is my biggest bet of the card. I like Lupi Godinez a lot here. And then you're gonna mention, like, oh my God, how can you trust Lupi, who's known to be really dumb? Yeah, I agree. She is really dumb. And she makes really dumb decisions. Thing is here, I think if she fights, even if she fights really dumb, I think she still wins. I like Palacio. I think she's pretty alright. She's a fun fighter to watch. But if Palacio is not coming forward, she's not going to be winning. And I just don't think she's going to be coming forward, even if this fight just happens to be on the feet. I think Lupi's just too physical for Julia Palacio at 115. This is a big step down in competition for Lupi Godinez, by the way. Mackenzie Dern, which I think she won that fight. I'm being honest with you. I think she won that fight. Verna Jandiroba, close fight. Like, it was pretty close. Jandiroba won. She won. But it's not like Lupi wasn't competitive. She fought dumb there. Tabitha Ricci, split decision. Horrible decision. That horrible split decision. It was clear Lupi Godinez. No questions about that. Elise Reed, did what you have to do. I don't care too anything about that. And the Dakota, pretty alright fighter, but didn't have much to offer against Lupita Godinez. With Julia Palacio, my beloved Josephine Knudson. This is my biggest I think, if I remember correctly, this is my biggest bet ever. No. It's probably Miranda Maverick against Jamie Lynn Horth. But this is one of my biggest bets I've ever had. It was like Josephine Knudson against Julia Palacio. I've read up on my Julia Palacio. I know who this girl is. Fun fighter, very nice clinch game. If she can get there, she's pretty nice on top. If she can get on top, and she's an absolute dog. You gotta respect Julia Palacio. She's an absolute dog, and she'll try to win. But again, her style is predicated on her coming forward. If she's not coming forward, she's not gonna be winning. Her clinch is nice, but I don't think it's gonna be as nice if she's getting pushed up against the cage by Lupita Godinez. Lupi has a big wrestling advantage here. Absolutely. Even if she doesn't go for the wrestling, the threat of the takedown changes everything, and it's going to open up the boxing. Lupi has nice boxing. She's pretty nice hands, to be honest. I know she got dropped like a little bit by Tabitha Ricci, although looking back on it, I didn't think it was like, you can argue it's like she was kind of more off balance and anything like that. But even still, Lupi is in great shape in Mexico. Shout out to Palacio. She's in amazing shape in Mexico. I know she's been at the UFC PI. Palacio has been training there for a while, so I'm not worried about elevation when it comes to this one. I don't think either girl's gonna get tired. I think they'll be fine. I think Lupi can get takedowns. And if she gets takedowns, she'll get half guard. And if she gets half guard, like I know people are mentioning this week where it's like, oh, even if Julia Palacio's on the ground, she'll win minutes by doing elbow. She's not going to be in full guard. Lupi will be able to pass. I believe that. And Julia Palacio's get up ability isn't that great. It really isn't. I just think Lupi's kind of got her covered, if I'm being honest with you. What else about Lupi? There's more. I have more to say about this fight. Uh, Big step down in competition. Already mentioned. I think on the feet, like Palastri just really hook heavy. She's really hook heavy. I think Lupi's going to be able to find the mark on Julia Palastri, who's there to be hit. Also, I want to mention, I know a lot of people mention Lupi Godinez is really dumb. That is true. She doesn't have great fight IQ. Not at all. Julia Palastri has great fight IQ? No, she doesn't. She's not so smart herself. Like I remember the Knutson fight, Josephine Knutson, just getting hit over and over, and she's like, ugh, just showing like bad body language. Like, you think judges are gonna look at that and be like, yeah, she's winning the round? No. Do you think it's out of the question that Julia Palastri does not shoots a takedown on Lupita Godinez? I don't. I wouldn't be shocked if she shoots a takedown Lupi, then gets reversed and is put on top, and Lupi's on top of her. That's absolutely a real scenario that can absolutely happen here. I think I don't put that past Julia Palastri. She's not some smart fighter at all. Not she's an absolute gamer. She's pretty physical, but I don't think against a girl like Lupita Godinez, she's going to be more physical. And I think that's the difference. The physicality is going to be huge here. And I think I like Lupita Godinez at home in Mexico to get a win. She's my biggest bet of the card. I like Lupi. Maybe not these odds. I think these odds are like maybe a little too wide now. I don't mind like parlaying her though, if I'm being honest. I think she's fine. I like Lupi here. I think she'll do good. Maybe a Lupi live bet if she like drops round one. So I think maybe that's possible. She drops round one, but I think Lupi has her covered, and I think a big step down in the rankings. I know Palastri looked great in her last fight against Corey McKenna. This shouldn't have been a split. I don't know why that was a split. It was clear Julia Palastri rounds 1 and 2. Corey McKenna is an atomweight at the end of the day, really. She's an atomweight. She's tiny. And she was still able to find a takedown on Palastri. And she really wasn't even looking for takedowns that fight, which is kind of shocking. I think Palastri is going to get outgunned, really. So, yeah, give me Lupita Godinez to win this fight. Melk Costa versus Christian Rodriguez. C-Rod. This is a fight where I think I would have action if it wasn't at elevation. But it's at elevation. I have no action. I'm going Christian Rodriguez. I think he'll win a decision. I like Christian Rodriguez a lot. I'm a big fan of his. Only fight I ever picked against him was Cameron Simon. Every other time I picked him to win a fight, even against JSP on short notice. I thought Loki did pretty well in that fight. Maybe I'm being biased. I'm saying he maybe should have got that decision, but I'm probably being biased there. But I love me some C-Rod, and I think he wins this. But it's at high elevation again. Considering what happened to Juliana Rosa, man, I can't trust it. I cannot trust it. I'm so scared. Mel Costa's on a roll, so shout out to him. But I'm not super crazy about the guys he's beating. Austin Lingo, it's all right. It's all right. Losing to Thiago Moises short notice, you got to pass. That's fine. Not the end of the world. Steve Garcia hits like a truck. Wasn't really doing crazy in that fight. Niran Beke, okay. He all right. Philly, good win. Philly kind of put himself in the guillotine there. It was pretty shocking. That's a good win, though. I have to give credit to that. But I feel like C-Rod's just kind of a dangerous. Like, I mean, not dangerous is the right word. But like, it can be like a really tough fight for a guy like Mel Costa. I think the boxing's gone point. I think he's got a lot to offer there. And the boxing is really plans his shots out well. And I think Mel Costa's cardio is not great, especially in elevation. That's like, goodness, that could be bad. C-Rod live bet might be a great play here because maybe Mel Costa looks great round 1. Then rounds 2 and round 3 falls off and C-Rod does his thing. And you get to see C-Rod in elevation, how he's handling it. Because I saw going into the Rosa fight, I was like, he looks like different. He doesn't look like the normal C-Rod I'm used to, where he's like, it's like spazzy and stuff like that. It was so weird. And it was him getting tapped by a guillotine. I couldn't believe it. I know Rosa has a great guillotine, so shout out to Rosa, of course, but I don't think that really is who I think C-Rod is. And I'm worried something like that happens here. And I'm not willing to eat the chalk of C-Rod like with that. So there's a pass for me. If I'm going to bet C-Rod pre, it's going to be like in this parlay that's really small. I'm only looking to get interested in a money line, or not money line, excuse me, a live bet on C-Rod after maybe if he struggles it around, because he's done it before. He was struggling around and then he's come back and won. So I think it's very live here. I like C-Rod. I know apparently he's been at elevation for a while now for this camp, so maybe there's not. I shouldn't be worrying about C-Rod at elevation compared to like where he was in Denver, but I don't feel like trusting it. So yeah, give me C-Rod though to win. Ateba Gautier versus Jose Medina. Man, I really should be picking Gautier round 1 KO. I have just this weird feeling it's gonna go to decision, so I'm just gonna go. No, I'm gonna go round 1 KO. But don't be shocked if this goes to decision. But I'm definitely picking Gautier to win. I understand the dog shot on Medina, although I don't understand it pre. If you're gonna bet Medina, bet it live. He's gonna get killed round 1. He's gonna get hurt bad or something like that. But he's really tough. He could survive maybe, and then you can enter in as that's going on. Or otherwise, maybe he could get just KO'd round 1. It's very, very possible. Gautier is an absolute monster at middleweight. Dude's up, built. But there's no denying that the dude can gas. It's very scary, very scary. And because he can gas against a guy like Medina, he's gonna be there, like very, very possible he can just be there. And if he's just there, it's worrisome. Reason why I can't get on the Medina side is because this dude won't do anything. He's just gonna be there. He's not gonna, like, against Zach Reese. I made this point against Zach Reese before, where like that fight proved to me he didn't have good cardio. It's like, yeah, he's able to make it through the round, all 3 rounds, but Medina offered zero resistance. He offered zero resistance. Do I think it's gonna be better? No, I don't think it's gonna be better. I think it's gonna be about the same thing. So I think Gautier can absolutely just completely gas out after round 1, and then just somehow win the fight because Medina just staring at him, not doing anything. There's very, very real possibility. Maybe Medina has some submission upside. I don't think Gautier is really good on the ground by any means. He's very, very physical, but that's definitely a worry with the Gautier side. I just stay away. Just stay away from this one. Only thing you could probably play is a Teba, like round 1 KO, maybe round 2 KO is all right. Round 1 KO is plus 240. I don't hate that. Plus 400 at Gautier KO round plus 400. I actually don't hate those. I might put a little sprinkle on those. And what's him by decision? Out of curiosity as well. Decision. Where is it? Plus 400 for unanimous. Plus 275. It's hard. It's hard to really make a case like what to bet on. I think Gautier wins. I don't really want much. I have to say more on this one. Just be wary of this one, especially at elevation. I don't know if you can trust Gautier. You can't trust Gautier here, I feel like. So yeah, just stay away from that one, in my opinion. Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. I'm going Chairez. I think he can win a decision. He can win by finish too, but I think CJ's a tough guy. I don't trust Chairez at all, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's that good. But I have even less trust for CJ Vergara. I don't think he's good at all. I'm surprised with the age of Chairez. I think he's surprisingly young. He looked pretty all right against Josh Van, putting him on the ropes. Again, I'm not been that impressed by Chairez. I know he gave Tyra a tough fight, but I don't know. I just wasn't really. How do you say this? Like, not appealed. Like, surprised? No, not surprised. Like, impressed. I'm not like that impressed by it, if I'm being honest. He should look good here. CJ's not going to be able to really offer anything, in my opinion. And because of that, I'm going with Chairez. I don't really trust Chairez at high altitude. Like, that does scare me. He's probably been in Mexico, so I probably shouldn't have to worry about that. But his gas tank in general is just, I don't think it's really been the best. So for me, this is a pass. I'm not willing to parlay Chairez. I know a lot of people are. I'm okay. I think I'll pass on that. Yeah, I think Chairez should win. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. I have a problem. And my problem is Kevin Borjas. I'm going by him to win round 1 KO. I didn't like how Ronaldo Rodriguez looked on the scale today, lazy boy. Missing weight was not good. Not good for the chin. I get the perspective of people on this fight, whereas like Rodriguez is like he's gonna be more of a dog, and because of that he's maybe gets hurt or something like that, and he's gonna like find a way to get Borjas in the ground and submit him. I get it, and they want Rodriguez to win. They want Lazy the Boy to win. But I tell you what, he's not good. He's not good. I don't remember. Did I bet him? I don't think I did even bet him against O'Day. Like I didn't track it at the very least. I might have made like a bet like when the fight was going on like Rodriguez. But let me actually take a look, because I'm actually very curious. Like if I did bet on it. I'll have to go back here. But while I'm doing that, I think Borjas can absolutely box up Rodriguez. Rodriguez is too willing to strike on the feet. That's the thing with Rodriguez. He's too willing to show his Mexican pride and get hit on the chin. We saw that against O'Day, where he just gets cracked bad. Borjas is allowed to do that too. Borjas is nice on the feet. He's very nice. I'm very worried about the cardio of Borjas. I'm very worried about the ground game of Borjas. But damn it, I have an unhealthy relationship betting on him, and I think he's live to win this fight. I'm actually curious at the odds of like Borjas round 1 2 KO kind of thing. Plus 750. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I'm probably gonna put a tiny bet on it, because I'm maybe not looking at decision as much. Like, what's KO decision? He's not gonna sub Rodriguez. I'd be shocked. It have to be a club and sub, and I really doubt that happens. KO decision plus 130. Ugh. That's not that much better than the money line, to be honest. So maybe just not do that. But like, yeah, the cardio really does worry me, and that's kind of why I'm like, I think round 1 2 KO is probably like not a bad look, if I'm being honest. And if it gets to round 3, he might be just done. Like he might be just completely gassed, and I wouldn't like a bet on him at that point. So I like Borjas. I think he can absolutely crack Rodriguez on the chin and might even put him out, if I'm being honest. So I don't think Lazy Boy's that good, and I just, yeah, he's there to be hit. He is there to be hit. Give me Borjas in an upset. David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. Give me Martinez. This is the easiest bet of the card. Not bet. This is the easiest lock of the card in my eyes. I think this is a lock. Give me round 3 KO. Round 2, round 3. I will say this though. I know some people being like round 3 decision, round 3 KO, decision Martinez. I wouldn't be shocked if he finishes Oliveira sooner. I just, Simon Oliveira, the god of the guillotine. This guy loves guillotines. He'll pull a guillotine here for some reason, even though Martinez will be halfway across the octagon. He'll find a way to pull a guillotine. I'm joking, of course. I'm being a little disrespectful, but like, I don't think this guy's good at all. I think David Martinez is going to absolutely work him here. I like the minus 3.5 spread on Martinez a lot. I just don't see him losing rounds. Only way he can lose round, Simon Oliveira goes for a takedown, goes on top. But I wouldn't even be surprised if the bro just rolls for some kind of guillotine or submission, loses position, and Martinez gets up. I think minus 3.5. Martinez covers him finishing, covers him absolutely dominating on the feet, which is absolutely what's going to happen. I think David Martinez, this is an easy spot. He's going to look amazing here. I love Martinez minus 3.5 a lot. Minus 170, I think that's a discount, if I'm being honest. I think it should be like minus 200. So I think there's some value there. And I'm willing to put a bet on that. And I'm willing to, I think that's an all right parlay piece as well. Yeah, David Martinez for the win. I like that. Very good striker, by the way, Martinez. I like his striking a lot. I thought he looked amazing in Dana White Contender Series. He looked amazing. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. I'm going to go Raul to win. I'm going to go with decision. I think this goes long. I'll tell you what, I'm not betting this one. I'm worried about elevation here. Remember last time Raul Rosas is in Mexico City when he was supposed to fight Ricky Turcios and he pulled that on fight day? That's enough of a worry for me. That's like, no thanks. I'm good. I'm gonna have to pass. I think Vince Morales is a tough enough veteran to be able to like go along with Rosas and like not get finished, and maybe even be live to get a finish as the fight goes on because of elevation. I wouldn't be shocked at that. I think a Vince Morales live bet after he gets taken down in round 2, that number will be nice. That number is going to be really nice. I think that would be like a good time to live bet Morales if you're going to like look at that, especially at the value perspective, because I don't think he's necessarily out of the fight if it goes that long and he gets taken down again by Rosas. So that's something to look at. But I think Rosas be able to hold down Morales and do enough to win. But I think he wins a decision. I don't think he's going to finish Morales. Morales is a tough guy. Not an easy out for anyone. I do think the control of Raul Rosas Jr. is going to be good enough for him to win. But Vince Morales is not no bump. He's not no bump. So tread carefully. I wouldn't parlay Raul if I'm being honest. I don't think he's like that much of a lock by any means. And I think it's like I worry about the cardio. I do really worry about Raul Rosas Jr.'s cardio. But I do think the UFC trying to do a thing here and they're trying to get him to win. Yeah, I think decision is the way to get it done. Next, I have the card: Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer at elevation. What could go wrong? I'll go Joe Pyfer. I think he wins. I'll go decision. I'll give Gastelum the respect he deserves in terms of his durability. But Gastelum, I don't think he's been looking good. Like against Daniel Rodriguez, I thought he looked bad. Even in a win, I thought he looked horrible. And Daniel Rod's not the same guy who he used to be. Sean Brady, I mean, no shame, to be fair. Sean Brady's really good, so I can't even be that mad at that. Against Chris Curtis, low-key maybe arguably didn't win that fight, to be honest. Cannonier, he gave Cannonier a good fight. And Whitaker, we had nothing for Whitaker, but it's fair. It's Whitaker. That Jack Hermanson fight with Pyfer is just, yeesh. Cardio, I'm very, very afraid. Especially at elevation, and Piper's a big guy who cuts a lot of weight. It's a worry. It's absolutely a worry. And he throws a lot. He puts a lot on his shots, you know. Maybe goes for takedowns and maybe gasses himself out like that. I can't do it. I can't trust Piper, especially at this number. I think it's a little scary. And I'm not really interested in playing it. Like this is just a pass for me. I do think Piper wins. I think he's better at this point than Gastelum. Maybe we get a Gastelum y'all must have forgot moment. I'd be cool with that. I love me some Gastelum. I'm just not going to be part of anything to do with this fight. So, for me, right now, these odds pass. I'm not interested. I get people being on Gastelum. I get it. Maybe it'd be better live bet on Gastelum because I think Pyfer probably wins round 1 at a pretty high clip. And, like, maybe Gastelum lets that Mexican spirit out in that Mexican card in front of the people of Mexico City and puts it on Pyfer rounds 2 and 3. But I'm not getting it. No thanks for me. I think Pyfer wins. Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. I like Drew Dober to win this fight. I like him to win this fight a lot. Not a lot, but round 1, round 2 KO. But let me look at these odds on Dober because now it's like even odds, which is interesting. It was plus odds early in the week. What I do like from Dober wins inside the distance. I think this fight very likely wins inside the distance, especially if Dober. I don't rate Torres' cardio. I don't think his cardio is going to be that great, especially with how he fights. It's not possible. If we get to rounds 2 and 3, and you see Torres have an amazing round, hurts Dober, and you see the odds are pretty crazy. Like they're not pretty crazy, but like you got plus money on Dober, and he's still alive. He's still there, still with it. I think that's a good live bet on Dober. I think Dober finishes this fight inside the distance. And I say inside distance because I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a sub here. I do think he's going to be trying to go for the KO, by all means. So I think maybe if we're going to be interested, maybe like round 1, round 2 KO Dober. That's all right. Although round 3 is live too, so that's a bit of a worry. Maybe just KO prop, even though it's not necessarily the best. So he likely goes for the KO because he wants that KO record from Dustin Poirier. So don't forget that. Got to keep that in mind. So he's probably going to be trying to go for a KO. But again, I don't think sub is out of the question against Manny Torres. So I'm going to keep it safe. I'm probably going to play inside distance Drew Dober. I don't see this fight going long. But I do think Drew Dober's the side to be on. What is it under? I bet you the under's nasty. 205, yeah. And that's under 1.5 too. So no thanks. No part of me. I just think Drew Tober is still really durable. I believe in his durability. I love that he trains at Denver, Colorado for elevation, so I'm not worried about elevation for him. And competing well with Gene Silva, I think, does say a lot, especially when it's like on the feet the whole time, pretty much. Although he did try to go for takedowns. Moicano's pretty good. Losing to Moicano, it's not the end of the world. Got out grappled there. I don't think Torres is gonna have the grappling chops to be able to take down Dober and do that. Ricky, I mean, whatever. It's Ricky Glenn. Ricky Glenn's done. Frivola, I mean, that's a scary look, and I think a lot of people looking at it as like they think Dober's chin is cracked. Even and like Gene Silva too cracked him too. I don't know how Gene Silva won that fight with the circumstances he did. I have to say that again because I was on Dober there and I put a good amount of Dober because that fight was at elevation. It was short notice for Gene Silva, up a weight. I mean, it's ridiculous. It was a step up in comp. I thought like, Jourdain to Dober. And that was pretty ridiculous. I can't believe Gene Silva was able to do what he did because that felt kind of impossible. And King Green, good win at the time. With Torres, I mean, to be fair, Bahamondes he's such a great striker. He's a great striker. Like getting caught by him is not the end of the world. Great powerful. I mean, not the most powerful guy to be honest, but Bahamondes can crack. But Torres finishing Duncan, it's all right. Look, getting the takedown stuff like that. You kind of got cracked by Duncan too, to be fair. Mota, whatever. Camacho, whatever. Again, I think Dober is a step up. It may not step up from Bahamondes, but like some of these other guys, Duncan, Mota, Camacho, of course. I think it's a step up, and I think Dober can absolutely crack Torres and get him out of there. So yeah, give me Drew Dober to win. Next fight up the card, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg, our main event. I'm very excited for this card. I mean, I am excited for the card, but very excited for this main event. I think it's going to be a banger. I like Steve Erceg to win this fight. I think he'll win the decision. I think the odds for this fight are ridiculous. Where are they right now? Plus 210 Erceg. This is ridiculous to me. I am worried about like Mexico City kind of stuff, but I know Erceg's been there, so I don't think elevation's a worry for either guy here. So I think he's been here for elevation. He's going to be fine. He's shown good cardio in the past. I think there's a crazy recency bias here. And like, I mean, to be fair, I've kind of fallen victim to it. Against Royval, I was on Royval there. I picked him to beat Moreno. I thought Moreno looked awful. I was on Albazi here. I absolutely was on. I mean, I have the Albazi profile picture, so I'm kind of obligated to. But I love Albazi anyways. Albazi looked awful. He looked awful in this fight. And Moreno kind of made him look like that. But again, I think Albazi was super rusty in that fight. So I think that's kind of part of it. Why Brandon Moreno looked so good in that fight. And then before that, Erceg arguably kind of almost beat Pantoja. I thought there's an argument for it. I would have given rounds 2. Was it 3? No, I think it was 2, 4, and 5. I think to Erceg. I think those are the argument rounds for Erceg. But I mean, it was close. It was not enough to win in like Brazil. So it sucks for Erceg. Then he fights Kai France. People all sorts of high on him. I'm super high on Erceg. I bet him against Kai. Gets KO'd. But people are forgetting. And like now there's just a narrative switch. Now Moreno's such a big favorite. I'm not behind that. I think Erceg's still really good. I like him a lot. I think he's gonna start the trend of Aussie guys winning. Him, some of the other guys coming up. I like his boxing. I think he can absolutely compete on the feet with Brandon Moreno. I think his wrestling is really good, especially defensive wrestling. That's probably the best part of his game, to be honest. I know Moreno's really good there too. So I just think the line is off, especially. It doesn't make any sense to be plus 210. So a value perspective, I think it's absolutely in favor of Erceg. And are we just going to ignore how Erceg was looking before he got hurt by Kai France? He was piecing him up. He was piecing up Kai France on the feet. Not many people can do that. Brandon Moreno wasn't really doing that. I thought round 1, I think in their title fight, like Moreno was like looking pretty good on the feet. But as the fight kept going, Kai France is getting some momentum, and it gets hit with a body kick and it's finished. I think Erceg's going to do some good work here. I like me some Steve Erceg. I think he's really good. I think after these big fights, he's going to keep getting better and learning. Brandon Moreno's already been at the top. Obviously, he's still young too, but he's going to keep getting better as well. But I think he's only just got to the top. He's going to keep getting better and better and better. I like me some Steve Erceg. I think he can absolutely compete in this fight, and it's going to be, at the very least, it's not going to look like, it's going to be a value bet, at the very least, in my eyes. So yeah, I like Steve Erceg to win this fight. I'm going to be betting on it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the card. We'll go over each pick again, and we'll go over what I think in terms of significant strikes, more takedowns, because I like those bets. Austin Hubbard, Markel Medeiros. I can't speak today. Medeiros 6 strikes, I think. Probably Hubbard more takedowns, but I'm not crazy about this one. So I'm not crazy about either of those. Emmers, Miranda, more 6 strikes, more takedowns. I think more 6 strikes, Emmers. And honestly, more takedowns. I think there's value on Emmers there too, because he's dumb enough to go for takedowns on Miranda. So if that's plus money, I think that's worth a small bet on Emmers, to be honest with you. Have Garcia, Vince Pichel. More takedowns, Garcia. Probably more strikes, Garcia, because he's going to be on top and landing some. So, yeah. Julia Palastri, Lupita Godinez. I think 6 strikes, Lupi. I'm not so crazy about that because it can be a little tough. More takedowns, probably Lupi, though. Like, I just don't think Pulastri's going to be... If she shoots a takedown, she might just get reversed, and then Lupi gets a takedown off that. That's a very, very real possibility. So I think Lupi more takedowns is probably pretty safe. But I lean Lupi to get more 6 strikes as well. But that can be a little tough with Palastri, because Palastri will, if she gets into her flow, she can't throw a lot. But I don't think it's going to happen in this fight. Mel Costa, Christian Rodriguez. 6 strikes is interesting because Christian Rodriguez can pick his shots, but I'd still go with him. But that's kind of a pass for me. More takedowns. Again, I think I'd pass because I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. I do worry about the size with Costa, but I think C-Rod's just better. Gautier, Medina. I think Gautier 6 strikes is probably a fine look. I bet you those odds are nasty though, so maybe not. More takedowns, probably Medina, but like, I just don't want anything to do with more takedowns in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Gautier goes for takedowns. Just like, I don't care. I don't care what jiu-jitsu he has. It's just athleticism here. I'm fine. Chirez, CJ Vergara. Yeah, I have to lean Chirez for these, but at the same time, CJ's maybe 6 strikes is live for CJ in terms of just more volume, being able to stay in it, probably maybe have more cardio. But it's just, I can't trust him. I think more takedowns, Chirez is a pretty good look though. I don't think that'll lose. So yeah, Chirez more takedowns. Borjas Rodriguez. I think Borjas 6 strikes is actually a pretty good look. I think that might actually be some nice odds on that. And probably Lazy Boy takedowns. I'd be shocked if Borjas goes for any takedowns. If he goes for takedowns, he'd probably just better off live betting Lazy Boy right then and there. That'd be bad if he goes for takedowns. But I think Borjas is super live to win this fight. And I think he's going to absolutely outbox Lazy Boy. And Lazy Boy's willing to be on the feet. He's willing to be on the feet and he's willing to get hit on the feet. So give me Borjas to win. Martinez worth 6 strikes. That's a lock. I don't think I have to worry about that. I mean, the only way that loses is if Oliveira is able to get takedowns early and Martinez isn't able to strike. But he's going to be able to strike. His lateral movement's really good. The footwork's really good. So that's not a worry. More takedowns. I mean, Oliveira's probably the only one going for them, but just a pass for me. Rosas Jr., Vince Morales. That's interesting, actually. I think I'll go Rosas Jr. more takedowns. But Vince Morales more 6 strikes might be interesting depending on the number. Because, I mean, Rosas doesn't necessarily, like, throw the most, right? Like, maybe if he gets in a top position, lands really, really big shots. But I don't think Morales is going to give him that any. And it could be a chance where Morales lands a little bit more 6 strikes. Because maybe there's not as much significant strike activity from Rosas Jr. Like, it could be he's just trying to go for position over submission. Like, he'll go for submissions, but he's going to try and keep his position, not do anything crass to leave the position. So, rash. What am I saying? Kelvin Gastelum, Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer, more takedowns. I think that's pretty safe. You're not going to lose that, even at elevation. Pyfer's not going to get taken down. I don't think Gastelum's going to go for any takedowns. More 6 strikes. I lean Pyfer again, but that might be a worry. I'd pass on that one. Just no thanks for Pyfer. 6 strikes for me. Manny Torres, Drew Dober. I think Drew Dober, 6 strikes, I'd lean Drew Dober. But it is a worry because he is pretty hittable. And because he's pretty hittable, it's like that is scary. But Manny Torres is pretty hittable too. So, I mean, that line's probably going to be pretty similar. But you can rely on Dober, especially if a fight goes on longer. You'll feel better about your 6 strike bet if it goes long. More takedowns, probably Dober, because I think he's going to be more interested in going for the takedown route. Dober's not easy to take down either. Torres super athletic. I know he went for a takedown on Duncan, so maybe it's better to pass on this one. But yeah, there's no thanks on the takedown. Erceg Moreno, I'd probably like to be on Erceg's side on the 6 strikes. I bet if that line is pretty close, like plus money, yeah, I'd have to take it because I think there's good value on it. I think there's a good chance that those odds are like off in terms of like it's going to be a close no matter what happens. Whoever is striking. So I think it's very likely that ends up being close. And yeah, I think more takedowns. I think Moreno is going to be more willing to shoot takedowns here, so that's why I would lean for that. Lean Moreno, more takedowns, but I just don't think there's going to be that much success with takedowns. Not going to be that many takedowns to begin with. So yeah, I'm not crazy about takedowns, but Erceg more 6 strikes. I think at plus money, that's an all right look. So yeah, that's what I think. Thank you so much for watching. You can check me out at Bet Me That Tips Champ Bets. And yeah, that's going to be a great, fun card. Going to be better than last week. I'm pretty confident in that. And yeah, we have some really fun fights next week as well. And Lerone Murphy versus Josh Emmett. So be sure to tune in. We'll be talking about that one next week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great one.